20, 40, 15, 30, 70. Yeah. So the MCQs are worth 30 marks. This is worth 70. Now, really quick, each one of these answers should take you a minimum of 3 pages. Can you do it with 2? Sure, if you write really small. But when I took the exam, my answers were 6.5 pages each. I teach the class though, so mine should be longer.
Sure.
Okay? But at a minimum, it'll take you 2 pages to answer. If you're less than 2 pages, you've missed something in the question for each of them. That's the bare minimum. I would tell you get to 3 pages and keep writing. Also, Part A, each one of the compulsory questions is worth 20 marks. Part B, they're only worth 15. Which ones are more important? Part A. Okay? Now, let's look over them. These are our topics. Consumer and business buying behavior. At the same time, that was from whatever chapter, that was chapter 5? That was chapter 5, I think. Chapter 6, 5. This is chapter 5. Market segmentation, chapter 4. Buying center, chapter 5. Product life cycle, chapter 6. Customer lifetime value, chapter 10. Marketing of goods and services, that's chapter 1 for goods. And then the services one is the one with the perishability, with the inseparability, intangibility. Product development strategy, we talked about. I keep having my laser not work. Okay? Sorry, let me come back to this. Product development strategy was the one we just did. That's with pricing. Pricing dealt with this, and this ties into the product life cycle. Both of these are together. And relationships with customers, that's chapter 10. Now let's look at a sample question. Here we go. What I want you to notice from the sample question, first thing you have to do, how many questions are being asked? 1, what are the benefits of segmenting a market? 2, what is being treated as a single entity? That's 2 parts. 3, is it possible to segment too much? That's 3 sections. What are the possible disadvantages? That's 4. Choose a market to provide examples of potential disadvantages. That's 5. So, you should have a minimum of a paragraph for each of them. Minimum. Okay? So let's look at this. First thing you do when you get an essay question, attack the question. Attack it. What I mean by that, the person who's marking your paper doesn't know you. So whatever it's talking about that you can define, give a definition. What are the 2 things here you have to define? 3 things. What is the market? What is a market segment? And how do you treat the whole thing, the whole market as one segment? That means you're going to have 3 definitions in your first paragraph. Define it. Pretend the person reading your paragraph is a 15-year-old who knows nothing. This is how you answer these questions. So you tell them everything. The market is all of the possible potential clients who want your product. Current and future potential people. Segment of a market is breaking the market down into a much smaller group. You segment the market to save money. If I treat the market as a whole, I have to advertise to everybody. You see what I'm saying? Treat the person who's reading your answer like they're stupid. Explain everything. Then answer the questions. So here's on the next thing. This tells you how to answer this. I've got 2 pages of this in here. 1, attack it. 2, define everything. Market segmentation, market as a whole. Discuss how how you get market segmentations for consumer, which we talked about. Geographic. Geographic, there's 4 of them. Thank you, demographic, behavioral, and individual times, like Christmas or Valentine's Day. You discuss all of those. Then you compare a segmented market to the unsegmented market. Then provide examples. On Valentine's Day, more roses are sold than any other day of the year. This thing's annoying me. My laser's not working. All right. The second part of the question, remember, let's come back here. How many questions are you being asked? 5 of them. Answer each one. You should have 5 separate answers. That's how you answer this question. If you don't have 5 separate answers, guess what? You're going to lose marks. Make sure you've answered each one. You know this stuff. We've gone over it in class. You'll remember it. You're going to self-study it at home. If you have questions, ask me. All right? So, the second one says, what are the disadvantages of segmenting a market? The disadvantage is it costs money. The more you over-segment the market, the more costs go up. The more you over-segment the market, the fewer possible customers you have. So if you over-segment too much, you have too few customers, you've spent too much money, you don't have enough to make money. It takes time to do it. Then, don't forget business to business. And that's huge. Read the question. Provide examples. Okay? That's the first example that I got for you. The second one is this one, which we spent a great deal of time discussing. Discuss how the product life cycle affects product development strategy. Use one example of a product in the early stage, and the rest of it comes through this. So, first thing you do, draw the graph. Second thing you do, define everything. The product life cycle describes the product from research and development all the way through growth as well as into decline when it's no longer being used. How many stages are there? 5. Tell me about each stage. Boom, boom, boom. Before introduction, research and development. Introduction, growth. Maturity, decline. And give me information. Don't just tell me the name. Okay? You've got to define all of that before you can even answer the question. Then you answer it. How does it affect product development strategy? What does that mean? When should I come up with a new product? At what point should I introduce a new product? Just for you, because you're recording it. Okay? Then it says, one example of a product that's an early stage of the product life cycle. Okay. What's a good example of a product like that? How about the Apple Watch? That one is right at the introduction phase. It just finished research and development. Perfect example. You remember all of those slides that were at the end of the product life cycle? We had the graph, and then we had 5 slides that were different color. Use those to describe them. Okay? Then it says, choose a product you believe is a mature product. Okay? Soda's perfect. DVD, perfect. Mobile phones, kind of perfect. And describe how it differs. Now, the question that they ask might be slightly different than this, because I know that it's changed a little, but I know the top part is definitely the same. And I know that it might say something like, explain how this works in a specific industry. So, in automobile manufacturing, how does the product life cycle affect it? Something like that. I don't know how much that question has changed. Okay? You guys with me? Yeah. So again, here you go. Read it carefully. What is it asking about? As soon as you do that, define your terms. So in this one, product life cycle, product development. Okay? What are the parts of the life cycle? Draw the graph, explain it, use real world examples. Tell me how it fits into it. This is how you answer these questions. That's it. Now, to be very honest and truthful, these are 2 example questions. Guess what? You only have to answer 4. So I would say study 3 or 4 more of those topics, please. At the same level. So here are the topics. Here are the topics. So this looks like it's part of this one. Okay? I know that this one is separate from this one, and I know the buying center is separate from that one. So guess what? If you go over like 3 of them, and you know them, you're set. I can't tell you the other compulsory question, I don't know it. So you need to make sure that you've gone over all of the topics, particularly where I was saying hint, hint, hint when you're studying. Now, ma'am?
You've said that 14 times.
I've said it, yeah, a lot. But here's the way you look at it, okay? In each section, in each one of the units, when we're talking about it, what we're talking about is usually it's about 4 slides together. And I'll tell you, hint, you need to know this slide, this slide, this slide, and this slide. If you look at those slides, that'll give you an idea as that might probably be one question. And those slides tie into that one question. Okay? That's what we need to be prepped for. But here's the deal. When you're looking at these other ones, I want you to think about what you have to do to answer these. Because to answer this is going to be a 3-page answer. It's going to have all of this stuff in it. So when you study for the other sections, how should you study it? Define my terms. What is the buying center? How does a buying center work? What are the parts of a buying center? What are the 7 parts of a buying center? We've covered those. What are each of those called? How do they work? Tell me how a decision of the buying center goes from the beginning, you need it, to when you get it in your hand. That kind of sounds like the question we just did for segmentation, right? This is how you study for those sections. What is it? How does it work? What are all of the parts? What are the difference between the 4 P's and the 7 P's? Give an example. This is how I can tell you that you should study for these other sections. So when you're going through the slides, you're going through the book, and you're like, yeah, he said hint on this. Okay. Are there 3 or 4 of them together? Okay, then this is probably a question. How do these all tie together? And then that's how you work to answer those questions. Okay, yes, I've said hint a lot. About 8 sections worth. I've said hint like 30 slides, but across like 8 sections. I can't just give you all the questions. It makes it too easy. Oh, yeah, I know. I told you. I understand. I did the exam that you guys did yesterday. I did it 2 weeks ago. I took 2 full booklets to answer it fully. My hand was killing me because they said take it in the 3 hours. Okay. I teach the class though. I should have to write that much.
Okay,
Huh? Which questions?
Exam question.
For communications and negotiation strategies, sure. The 1981 air traffic controller strike can be blamed on Scott Foley and the Air Traffic Controllers Union because they broke the negotiations.
Yeah.
They broke the negotiations in multiple ways by playing hardball politics and by Oh, you meant the questions on this exam? No, I can't do that. That doesn't work. I think I've given you enough hints in the sections. You can kind of see how the questions are written. You can kind of see the way that you got to study for them.
Forget everything.
I'm sorry, that won't work.
Is slides available in the Dropbox? Is the slides available in the Dropbox?
They're there. All of my slides are there. It's not listed in this, is it? Here. For product, no, this is part of this. No, it doesn't look like it. They just sent me this, so this is what I know is coming. So then it means if Chapter 8 doesn't tie directly into these topics, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, you don't need them. All right. Now, what you need for 7, 8, and 9 are for the MCQ questions. Here's the deal. If you're added to Dropbox already, the MCQ questions are there. I put them there. And the MCQ answers are there.
The theory 1 or 16?
Huh?
Like we do with the theory.
Whatever it is that they're going to send you in like 2 weeks, they sent it to me too. So I have it and I have the answers. But what that means for you right now is you have the MCQ questions. You sit down with the book when you're studying with the MCQ question. Don't take just the answer. Do the one without the answer. You're looking through your notes, you're looking through the PowerPoint slides, you go, okay, this question, it's about the product life cycle. What's the answer? This question is about services and goods. Okay, what's the answer? This question is about primary sources. That's chapter 5, by the way. Okay, that's how you find them, because if you look them up, you'll remember them. So I know for chapter 7, 8, and 9, there are questions from the MCQs that are there. All right? That's it. Halas, finished. Shukran. Thank you for coming.